Hi guys, so I didn't expect to be making this video, and honestly, I don't think that most people expected to feel this way either, but something's definitely not adding up. And if you've been paying any attention at all, you can feel it. Because Tulsi Gabbard has built her entire reputation on opposing wars just like this one, which is exactly why her silence right now is deafening.
The president explicitly said that the United States did not strike Iran's energy infrastructure because, in his words, having to rebuild it, quote, would take years. Yet this morning, Israel struck the South Pars gas field, the world's largest natural gas reserve, triggering Iranian attacks on Qatari gas facilities. Oil prices are up 15% in the last 24 hours. Last night, the president said that the United States knew nothing about the attack and called on Israel to stop similar attacks on energy. Israel denies this and says that the attack was cleared by the United States. So my question is, what does the intelligence community assess Israel's goals in this war to be? And are those goals aligned with the goals of the United States?
I'm thinking carefully here about what can be said in this open setting versus a closed setting.
Are the goals aligned?
The objectives that have been laid out by the president are different from the objectives that have been laid out by the Israeli government.
And how do they differ?
We can see through the operations that the Israeli government has been focused on disabling the Iranian leadership and taking out several members, obviously beginning with the Ayatollah and the supreme leader. And they continue to focus on that effort.
And how does that differ from our goals?
The president has stated that his objectives are to destroy Iran's ballistic missile launching capability, their ballistic missile production capability, and their Navy, the IRGC Navy and mine-laying capability.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know whether Israel is supportive of the president's call to make a deal with Iran?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know Israel's position on that.
And to what do you attribute Israel's decision to strike Iranian energy infrastructure, despite President Trump's call to keep those facilities off limits?
I don't have an answer for that.
It's impossible to ignore because it doesn't make any sense. And what's up with the word salad? It's not like she's misinformed. She's not inexperienced. She isn't some random politician flipping positions. This is someone whose entire career was literally built on not doing this.
Let's deal with the situation where we are, where this president and his chicken hawk cabinet have led us to the brink of war with Iran. I served in the war in Iraq at the height of the war in 2005, a war that took over 4,000 of my brothers and sisters in uniforms' lives. The American people need to understand that this war with Iran would be far more devastating, far more costly than anything that we ever saw in Iraq. It would take many more lives. It would exacerbate the refugee crisis. And it wouldn't be just contained within Iran. This would turn into a regional war. This is why it's so important that every one of us, every single American, stand up and say no war with Iran. We've got to be clear-eyed about the situation that we are in, that inching closer, actually more than inching, speeding towards an all-out war with Iran would make the wars that we've seen in Iraq and in Afghanistan look like a picnic. It will be far more costly in lives, and American taxpayer dollars, and all towards accomplishing what goal?
So the question isn't whether she understands what's happening. It's why she's choosing not to say anything about it. Ayn Rand once famously said, quote, "Contradictions do not exist. Whenever you think that you're facing a contradiction, check your premises. You will find that one of them is wrong." And sadly, I think she's right. A lot of people are trying to explain this away, but the real explanation might be a lot more mundane and a lot more uncomfortable, because this isn't just about poor leadership. It's about how we evaluate anyone in power, especially the ones that we want to believe in. It's about how quickly we forget to hold them accountable when their branding fails, and we get to see who they really are. This is crucial because the way that we've been doing things isn't working. So let's break this down, because once you see it, you won't be able to unsee it. If this content is useful to you, please subscribe and hit the like button. Hype the video, share it, and engage. It's all completely free, and it really helps the channel grow. Thanks a million. Now, let's get into it. Now, before anyone jumps in to defend her, I just want to be very clear. This isn't about politics. You guys already know that I am strictly nonpartisan. So this isn't about left versus right. This is about principle versus power, and what happens when someone's principles finally cost them something, and what they choose to do next. The first time I saw Tulsi was at a Bernie Sanders rally in Miami when he was running for president like a million years ago. I'd never heard of her before, but the minute she stepped on that stage, it became immediately obvious to the crowd and to me that this woman was presidential. I mean, she was gorgeous, she had poise, she was serious, she walked and spoke with authority that came from years of experience. Then years later, I met her here in Manhattan when she held a town hall while running for president herself.
United and lifting our voices so that we drown out the sound of the naysayers, or the big special interests, or the corporate interests, the military-industrial complex, or the prison-industrial complex.
I approached her after her speech and we spoke. She graciously gave me her time and attention, and I walked away with the same impression. This woman is grounded, clear, and serious. She's exactly the type of person we need leading the U.S. So when I say what I'm about to say, it's not coming from a place of bias. It's coming from the fact that something here feels dangerously off. And the reason this matters is bigger than just Tulsi. It points to a fatal flaw in how we choose our leaders and the control that their branding has over our psyches. We've already seen what it looks like when someone is willing to stand on principle. For example, I was never a fan of Marjorie Taylor Greene until she had the spine to resign and break from Trump's toxic administration. Today, she loudly criticizes Trump for his handling of the Jeffrey Epstein files, for foreign policy regarding Iran, and economic policies, and rightly so.
It's absolutely America last. It's the same bullshit we've seen. What is happening to the man that I supported, the man that denounced what happened in Iraq?
The war in Iraq was a big, fat mistake.
No more regime change. Promise it on the campaign. A year in and we're in another f***ing war, and we've got American troops being killed.
So kudos to her, and I stand corrected. And the director of the National Counterterrorism Center, Joe Kent, recently resigned, taking a hard stance against the lack of a credible threat that brought us into a war with Iran.
I will not, in good conscience, send young men and women off to die on foreign battlefields. Our leaders will hear us if we all speak out. We're at a critical juncture in the war in Iran. We need to let our leaders hear that we do not support this war. We do not think there's a vital national security interest. We want to bring our troops home. We want to work towards peace in that region. We do not want 20 plus more years of bloodletting. And then as we head into this next election cycle, demand from everyone, from every political party, go to them, go to your representatives and say, I will not vote for you if you are going to vote for the continuation of these wars overseas.
He didn't cry about it, he didn't whine about it, and in fact, he was very respectful, which I'm not sure I would have been. And again, he had nothing to gain but his credibility. But in a world of deception, credibility is everything. So then what's up with Tulsi? If anyone was willing to risk their positions for their principles, then shouldn't she have been the first? Because if you built your reputation on opposing wars like this and then go quiet when it actually happens, that's not strategy. That's cowardice. I've heard people make excuses for her, so let's walk through the explanations that some people are offering because there are a few. Number one, she has more influence on the inside. The first argument is that she's staying quiet because she has more influence from the inside. And on paper, sure, that sounds reasonable, but in practice, we all know it's BS. Influence that produces no visible resistance is compliance, plain and simple. Number 2, she's thinking long-term. The second explanation is political, that she's thinking about her future, that if she walks away now, she burns bridges, loses leverage, and limits her path forward. Okay, maybe, but there's a trade-off. Every minute of her silence now tanks her credibility forever. There's no coming back from this. Number 3, there's a bigger play. This is a very popular excuse whenever someone is faced with having to see their heroes take a fall. They want to assume that their hero is so smart that they're actually playing some type of 5D chess, when in reality, it's not that complicated. There's an idea floating around that she's staying for a bigger objective, potentially to get a pardon for Edward Snowden. Is that possible? Sure. But even if that were true, is getting a pardon for Edward Snowden more important than getting your nation out of a war that, 1, it can't win, and 2, that was unfounded to begin with? Number 4, she disagrees privately. And finally, the least dramatic explanation, that she disagrees but isn't willing to break publicly, which happens all the time in government. So I guess we're just used to it. But we shouldn't get used to it. And this isn't just any issue. This is the issue that she built her entire public career on. We need to stop analyzing and start being honest. Occam's razor. She's selling out. It's as simple as that. But here's the part that matters more than Tulsi, because this is bigger than just one person. This keeps happening to us because we keep falling for the same tactics. We've gotten used to judging our leaders based on what they say, their speeches, their positions, and their promises. But unfortunately, we don't find out who they really are until their principles finally cost them something. And if we put our trust in the wrong person, by then, it's too late. Because anyone can be anti-war when it's safe. Anyone can sound principled when there's nothing on the line. The real test comes when telling the truth actually threatens their position, their power, and their future. Trump is the most stark example of this, bar none. He ran on Make America Great Again in his first term.
Together, we will make America strong again. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And yes, together, we will make America great again.
In his second term, he promised to avoid all foreign entanglements and be the America First president, the president of peace, that under him there would be no new wars.
These war hawks, they want to draft your kids to die in wars, and they will never fight themselves. You know, we'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, you know, the wars that never end. These endless wars that we've been in, I've gotten us out of so many. We don't want to get into wars. We're tired of fighting. I'm the only president in the last 84 years that didn't start a war. Under Trump, we will have no more wars. No more wars. No more wars. We will have prosperity and peace. We will have prosperity and we will have peace. Remember, I'm the president of peace. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. He's going to start a war. I said, no, no, no. My rhetoric is going to keep us out of wars. And that's what happened. My proudest legacy will be that of a peacemaker. That's what I want to be, a peacemaker. We will measure our success not only by the battles we win, but also by the wars that we end, and perhaps most importantly, the wars we never get into.
But the minute the Epstein files threatened his power, he reneged on everything. He invaded Venezuela, threatened to invade Greenland for I don't know what reason, and then started an unprovoked war with Iran. This isn't what we were promised. Even ex-Israeli intelligence officer Ari Ben-Menashe has publicly urged Trump to do the right thing, take the L, and do what's best for the U.S. and for the Middle East by stopping the genocide in Gaza and the war with Iran.
He can end the genocide right now if he just stops being scared of the Israelis. What are they going to say about him? How many girls did he abuse? How many billions of dollars he took? Let them say whatever they say. He should stop the genocide. Let them do whatever they want to do. Morality should take over. I encourage him to stop the genocide at any price. I hope Donald Trump will have the interest of the United States and the Middle East at heart and do the right thing.
You know, I was having a conversation with a diehard Trump supporter who very cynically rolled their eyes and said that no one takes an L for humanity and that it's always every man for himself. But that's just not true. JFK, Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and Charlie Kirk. We have a history of noble American leaders who were willing to give their lives for their principles and for the good of the nation. And even if we didn't, let's pretend. Shouldn't we expect our president to protect the nation at whatever cost? I mean, isn't that the job? For whatever reason, Trump's been given the power to finally untether the U.S. from foreign occupation, an occupation that we've been under since the 40s. He's been given the keys to truly getting our country back, which is exactly what he ran on. This is his moment, and he can make it happen by cutting ties with Israel now and stopping this insanity, even if it means that he has to face the music for his alleged crimes. You're almost 80, bro. What's the point of trying to save yourself? You're almost out of here. And this is your last opportunity to leave a meaningful legacy, not only for posterity, for our nation, but also for your grandkids, if they even matter. Because no matter what, the gig is up. The files might be coming out in drips and drabs, but all that's doing is giving us more time to sift through them. And there are lots of us sifting worldwide. If you don't have the spine to do that, then just step down. They're gonna get rid of you anyway, bro. Just like they've always done. And look, your numbers are tanking. The second they get JD Teal up to speed, you're toast. So why not go out with a bang? Now, we don't have a crystal ball. So how can we prevent getting duped by the Trumps and Tulsis of the world yet again? Number one, we've got to stop judging leaders based on what they say when it's easy and start watching what they do when it actually costs them something. Beware of anyone playing to your emotions. It's a manipulation tactic because when you're emotional, you're least able to use logic. Number two, you guys, for the millionth time, please, I am begging you, we've got to accept that partisanship is a ruse. There are no Democrats or Republicans in the halls of power. There is only power. That's it. Yes, it sucks to realize this, but it's the only way we're going to get ourselves out of this mess. Number three, delve into their connections. This takes time, which is why so few people do it, and that's what they're counting on. But that's where independent voices on YouTube and social media come in. We do the work to help you come to your own conclusions, so take advantage of it. Listen to opposing viewpoints because there's something to gain from everyone. And don't forget to subscribe and support because we can't do it without you. In my opinion, Tulsi's only feasible move right now is to resign.
When President Trump was asked about your testimony, he said you were wrong. Were you lying or not?
I stand by the intelligence
Great.
community's
With that,
complete assessment.
Trump also said he didn't care what you thought or said. Should he care about what you have to say when it comes to intelligence?
I continue to provide the president with the intelligence community's assessments on all matters.
Yesterday, you said that only the president, only person who can determine what is an imminent threat is the president of the United States. Do you stand by that statement?
Yes, I do.
If the president can determine and ignore what you're doing, why do you guys even have a job? Why do you even advise them?
Trump clearly doesn't respect her, and he's proven that she has no leverage whatsoever in his administration, no matter what her title is. The only thing she has left is her name. And the longer she stays, the more damage she does to her credibility, destroying any chance of a future run. Because if your principles disappear the minute they cost you something, then they were never your principles. They were branding. And this time, we won't forget. See you on the next vid.